You already have this in your notes. I'm just refreshing your memory.
Hey, where'd you go? I hate that. That gets really annoying.
This thing?
Yeah.
You know what it's doing, right? Calibrating the board. The touch sensor is off by like 10 bits. So when I write, it was like writing like maybe like a centimeter to the left of where I was writing. So by you putting 9 spots, it detects the exact space of the board and it knows where you're writing now. It's actually really cool technology.
It's like annoying.
That smart board is like really.
Okay. Quickly, let's go through. We got to finish concept 8 and do concept 9. We can easily do this today. Concept 9 is not difficult at all. And concept 8 is probably the tougher part. This was where we left off yesterday. Do you guys remember when we went around and we continued to say that there's a pattern to it?
What's that?
If there's no room on the bottom, just flip it up and right on the back for now. I'll put a new sheet up today. Okay, here. We talked about how this continues through the whole process. So we got 1, 2, 3. What's going to be up here next? 4. And then over here. And so forth and so on.
6, 7, 11.
So we can do this.
Now, we don't want to count every time, right?
Yeah.
So if I ask you a larger one, we don't want to count. Let's go over how we can figure this out.
Divide by 4.
Very good, Owen. So here's what we do. Let's make a quick chart. Okay, we're going to list the first 6. Let's make a quick table. We'll list the first 6. Here. Relax, guys, relax. Here we're going to say, let's take the exponent and divide it by 4. That'll be this column. Okay, the exponent, whatever it is, divided by 4. This will be the decimal equivalent. This will be the actual value. So, let's go through the first process and you're going to see a pattern after a little while here. So if I take this exponent and divide it by 4, what is we just put here? What will go in the second box as a fraction? What's the exponent of the first one? Okay, so just put 0 over 4. What is anything divided into 0 going to be?
0.
Okay, so this is going to be a decimal of 0.00. Next one. 1 over 4. Owen, what is 1 over 4?
1 over 4, 25. 25.
Very good, sir. Next. What is 2 over 4?
Half. 1/2.
Good. Melody, what is 3 over 4?
25.
Not 1 over 4, 3 over 4.
I mean 75.
Thank you. And now, what's 4 out of 4? Claudia? Okay. The next one. Jordan, tell me. What is 5 over 4? 5. Very good. Anybody know 6 over 4?
1.5.
Okay, look at your decimals, people. Notice, the decimal here repeats itself, right? The decimal 0.25 repeats itself. The decimal 0.5 repeats itself. So what's happening here is we're noticing that if we just divide by 4, we can look at the decimal to figure out which spot we're in. If we remember, we have all these values here. We have them already. We know that anything to the 0 is 1, I to the 1 is I, this is -1, and this is -I. That's from our wheel. Again, these 4 values are from our wheel. So what do I have to do pretty much? Continue the pattern. So if I take my exponent and divide it by 4, and if I ever get a 0.25 at the end, it's talking about I. If I ever get a 0.5, it's talking about -1. So the next bar here, this would be 1 again. This would go back to I, this would go back to -I, and etc., etc. We can go down this table further. So what we're doing here is the following. We're taking our I wheel that we had, and we're applying decimal values to each one. Again, we're taking our I wheel that we had, and we're applying decimal values to each one of these. So if you had a number like I to the 252nd, all you need to do is divide by 4, look at the decimal. If the decimal is 0.00, it's 1. If the decimal is 0.25, it's I. If the decimal is 0.50, it's -1. If the decimal is 0.75, it's -I. So in the end, what we're doing really is using this portion of the table. Again, we're only using that portion. Whoops. This portion, sorry. This is going to be, let me just do it this way. Much easier.
Why did you put I for 0.4?
1/4 is 0.25, right? So what was I to the 1 on our wheel? We'll go back to your wheel. Look, we knew all these values from the wheel.
Oh, 1 was
Remember I to the 0 on? I to the 0 was 1 on your wheel. I to the 1 was just I. I squared was -1, and I cubed was -I. The numbers that I just circled come right from that wheel that we talked about.
oh wait, so Gotcha.
So what we're doing is the following, really. If you look back at your wheel now, what we're doing is we're applying decimal values. This decimal spot will always be a 0.00. This will always be a 0.25. This will always be a 0.50. And this will always be a 0.75. So no matter what, if you take any value and divide it by 4, if you simply look at the decimal, you'll know which spot you're in. So if you pick a value, and let's do an example. If we said I to the 257th, who has a calculator in front of them wants to check for us? Let's do 257 divided by 4 and tell me what the decimal is. 64 point. All right, so we take this, we get 64.25. Where is the 0.25 located?
Right under.
Where do you see it? Next to the I. So that means that I to the 257 is just I. So all you need to do is find the decimal part. Okay, and again, this is a trick I'm showing you. I'm going to show you how you can use an SAT in a second. All you do is find the decimal spot, and you can find the location. So if this had been 0.75, we would just go to I cubed, which is -I. If this was 0.50, we would drop here. See, I squared, well, I squared is just -1. So let's do a few examples. Let's do I to the 210, I to the 179, I to the 58, and I to the 9,373rd. Again, these look like ridiculous numbers, but again, all you need to do is take the exponent and divide it by 4. Based on the decimal, you'll get the answer. So I'm going to put in parentheses for each of these
What's the number again?
what we're doing.
You say 9,000.
It's up here. So divide them each by 4, see what the decimal is. I don't care what the whole number is. You know how the last one, it was like 64.25? The 64 part just means that you went around the loop 64 times. Again, the last example, it was 64.25 when we divided, which means you went around 64 times, and then the 0.25 means you went another quarter of a turn. So here, and we need calculators for this stuff. Anybody want to start calculating? Ebony, thank you. Can you give me the decimal, if you don't mind? It should be 0.75, right? Oh no, it should be 0.5. What, 52.5? Okay, so Ebony sees it's 52.5. She looks for 0.5 on her I wheel, that's at the bottom, which means it's just -1. Again, this is not the answer here. A lot of students in my other class have been putting this as their answer. This is just telling you where to look on the I wheel. Again, This is the important part right here. The 0.5 tells me to look at the bottom of my I wheel. What about the second one, Ebony? 44.75, which is the third spot on the I wheel.
So negative I.
Very good, which is negative I. Again, we're only looking at the decimal spot.
Mind boggling.
Now, I'm going to show you guys in a minute how you can use the SAT.
No.
There's certain problems on there that people get wrong all the time, which are actually really easy, and you use this technique. Anybody got the third one?
Yeah, I got it.
On
14.
14.5, which gives you what?
That, -1.
Negative 1. On the I wheel, 0.5 is negative 1. Again, we're looking at this component. And finally, 2343.25. Okay, 0.25, that's the only one we didn't do, or we didn't do 0.0 actually. It's going to be I. Now again, this is the important part. Let's make sure we know what's going on here though. In words, here's what we would say. You loop, and I'll highlight as I do it. Got a highlighter on here somewhere. Okay. Relax, guys, relax. This says you loop 52 times. That's what the 52 means. Again, you're looping around the I wheel 52 times, and then you go halfway around it, which gets you to -1. You loop around the I wheel 44 times. You go 3/4 of the way around it, you get to -I. You loop around 14 times, you go halfway around it, you get to -1. You loop around 2,343 times, go another quarter of a turn, you get to just I. So that's what these components are telling you. The number of loops, and then the portion of the turn that you make after that. Somebody was going to ask a question.
But, I mean, but, so, the little, either, if it's an I or a 1 or something, that's our answer, not that.
Correct. The answer is in the box. This is just our steps to get to that answer. This is not even included in our answer. That's why I'm putting parentheses around to show that they're just steps that we're doing. Okay, again, these are not answers. These are just the steps, and that's why I'm putting these arrows here. Now, I'll give you another minute or so to copy the rest down. I want to show you guys where you're going to see this on the SAT. It comes up all over the place. There'll be at least 2 problems on the test that are going to have something like this. You have the wheel in front of you? Raise your hand. See the 0.25? Look at your desk. See that 0.25? What is 0.25? This I squared is negative. This I is negative. That's equal sign.
All
right.
Going around that loop 2,000.
Exactly. You're not going to loop around many times. Now, here's the next problem, and I'm not going to try to give you the answer right away. I want you to think about it first. So here's the question on the SAT. The following repeating decimal is listed below. Find the, let's say for now, 16th decimal value after the decimal itself. I'll show you. So if we have something like this, 4.2179, like that. Now, if it's just asking for the 16th spot, you can just count 16 spots, right? 2179, 2179, 2179, 2179, and it's clearly 9. But if it doesn't ask for the 16th, what if it said 160th? Then you've got to figure out a way to work this. And you can use the same technique we did in the I wheel. So here's how we do this. Again, if it were just 16 of them, we'll see that this is our answer, 9. That is the 16th digit, because we have 4, 4, 4, and 4. Okay, so that's the 16th decimal, 9. I just counted 16 of them. But I don't want to sit here and count stuff. Just like you don't want to count around that wheel 2,243 times, okay? So let's figure out a way to do this. So instead of that, let's now say that instead of the 100 or the 16th spot, we need to find, let's say, the 50th spot. Okay? And we'll make a decimal up of 2.8175. Now, here's how I think about it. This is the first spot, correct?
Yeah.
This is the second spot, the third spot, and the fourth spot, out of a total of 4 spots. Take your spot number, or location number, divided by the number repeated. So this is the first spot, which means this is really like 1 over 4, or 0.25. This is the second spot, or 2 over 4, which is 0.5. Third spot is 3 over 4, or 0.75. And the fourth spot is 4 over 4, or 1.00. So now what we've done is the following. We've given assignments to each value. So now if you take the 50th spot, which is the spot number, divided by the number repeated, it means take 50 and divide it by 4. When you do 50 divided by 4, you should get 12.5.
12.5.
I hope so. Now, if it's 12.5, what's the decimal there?
Put it right.
So where's the 0.5 located?
-1.
Be careful.
2.
Look on here, not on your eye chart, guys. Now we're on this. Where's the 0.5?
Right there.
So we find this is the value. It's going to be
Wait, where's the 50?
the 50th location we're looking for. Now, if you listed these, watch what will happen. The first 4, the next 4 will give me 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48, and then we got 49, 50. 49, 50. So if you went by 4s, you would eventually get to 48 at the end, and then you would have to go 2 more spots, which would be the 49th spot here, the 50th spot here. This is then spot 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. And it continues over and over again. So if you just take the spot you're looking for over the total amount and find the decimal it corresponds to, it works every time. Okay? Now, there are questions on the SAT that say find the 263rd spot. You don't want to do that in your head. You don't want to have to even think about like writing it all out. So you take 263, if it repeats 4 times, you divide by 4, you find the corresponding decimal. Now, this works for even if there's 10 spots repeating, or 8 spots repeating, anything. And let's do an example like that now. So, imagine the same kind of problem. I'm not going to rewrite all the words here, okay? So on the next page, let's say that the decimal repeating was 3.718. And you are asked to find the 119th spot. Okay? Assign decimal values to each of these. So again, how do we assign decimal values? Take the number of the spot over the number that are repeating. How many of these repeat this time? 3 repeat only, not 4. Only 3 repeat. This is the first spot over 3, which is 0.33 repeating. Meaning that's the decimal we're going to look for. This is the second spot over 3, which is 0.66. And I'm not even going to put repeating now, because you don't need to. Once you see the first 2 spots, you'll see the answer. And this is the third spot over 3, which is?
1.
I like that one though. Very good. Because you saw 66, 33, right? 99. Give me like another minute, and I'll show you guys how 0.99 and 1.00 are the same number.
You showed us.
No, you did.
No, you did it.
Oh, no.
I showed first period.
Teacher showed me that.
Oh, okay. I showed first period yesterday. Do you remember it? You want to show it?
No.
Good judgment.
After this example, I'll show you that couple. All right. Now, 0.33, 0.66, 1.00. Take 119 now, divide it by 3. Somebody with a calculator, tell me 119 divided by 3.
39.6 repeated, and it was.
Okay. So, which spot are we looking at, guys? The second spot of the answer is 1. Here, again, we look at our decimals. We see the 0.66. We line it up with this 0.66. We realize that our answer is 1. So the 119th spot is a 1 because we've associated decimals with each other.
Okay.
Again, that was for 3. Try the next one on your own.
I don't get how you know it's funny.
Hold on, let me put this up and I'll come up with it, Melanie. 1 second. Let's say we have 3.89742. How many spots now?
5.
Good. And I want you to find the 253rd spot. Try that on your own. Again, there are 5 repeating. I want you to find what the 253rd decimal spot will be.
I didn't know what to buy. You know, after you said your answer.
Yeah, this was 6.6, right? 6.6.
So, what's the answer? What is that? Well, okay, so now let's say I have a longer number. I just got that 4, but I was stuck.
Yes, but look here, Melanie. Now we have 5 spots, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to have 1 over 5, 2 over 5, 3 over 5, 4 over 5, 5 over 5. Again, you're always going to list these. 1 out of 5, 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5, 4th spot out of 5, 5 out of 5. Again, that's what you should have started with. Make sure you have that so far. You have 5 spots here. And this is a cool technique. On the SAT, they give this problem all the time. So many students are like, hey, what am I doing next? And I wouldn't want to carry it either until you get to learn that pattern. Really,
Dude, that's like freaking hell.
For the eyes, the idea is that you take the exponent, divide it by the exponent, and the decimals where you keep over and over.
You're lucky.
You keep going.
You're lucky.
So what I'm asking you to do is, if I gave you 5, pounds, you just keep 350. Divide by 4. Okay? This you're going to get something you can. True that.
I want to do
For your test, especially on the eye stuff.
Really?
Doesn't make sense. Say 253. I mean, it's not how many are that bar?
So it's
7.
Okay, there's their 0.6. See the 0.6 here? You got 50.6, you said? So this 0.6, Carol, this 0.6 is the decimal that he got. When he did 253 divided by 5, he got 50.6. So you look at the 0.6, you say, okay, well 0.6 here is referring to this spot here, so keep going up, so it says that the 253rd spot will be a 7. Because this is going to repeat itself over and over again until it gets to 248, 249, 250, 251, 252, 253rd spot. Because it continues to repeat itself. It's a cycle over and over and What do we got, man? Okay, shoot. What'd you get? What'd you get? Your decimals are off? When we do this, we get 253 over this. This is going to be 50.6. Sorry, Anthony, do you have a question or you're going to answer? Okay, sorry about that. So 50.6, we see the 0.6. We go over to our chart, find the 0.6. It is the number 7 that will be in the 253rd spot. Okay? Again, any decimal value works here. So you can repeat 7 of them. These decimals are cleaner. If you had 7 repeating, it would be a bit of a different kind of looking decimal. Might be a little messy. So you might have to list like the first 3 decimals for each of these. Okay, these were much cleaner decimal values. Say again?
Yeah, we had a show one time. I was DJing.
You can find a math thing to rap to.
I did a geometry rap.
Find something about math that we're learning this year. You can fit a rap to it.
Let's go. Let's go. That's easy. Let's go.
Alright, now here's what I want you to do. You did the first half of your quiz, now I want you to do the second half. So keep in mind that you have to take your exponent and divide by 4 here. You're just going to do the second half of this now. I'm only going to give you about like 2 or 3 minutes, and then we'll continue talking about that. Again, this is only your first try here, so if you're having trouble still, it's still like for practice. If you'd like to use your notes for today, use this. That's fine right now. Okay? Finish the second half. If you want to look at your notes for this, I want to see if you can do it.
Craziness needs you.
I like the energy. Remember, this is what you should be using right now. You should be using your eye wheel here.
I'm done. Is that right?
About 25 divided by 4. So it'd be like 25. Which one's going to be No, 25 is to be divided by 4. That number divided by 4.
Process.
This is not this one here. You can see whatever that number is loading and divide it by 4. That will then give you a new decimal to use. So if you sure what I'm talking about? Here's 125 is the
Okay.
So which one do you have?
What am I?
The fractions that I'm This is the number of decimals that are repeating. There are 5 of them repeating. This is the location. This is the first spot, second spot, third spot, fourth spot, fifth spot. So this is the spot number, the number repeating. And when I divide them, I get the decimal. Then based on the decimal answer, I just line up the decimals. So the number of spots that are repeated are the bottom numbers there. The number of the spot is the top number.
Mr. Howell.
So if you type in 1 over 5, you'll get 0.2. If you type in 2 over 5, you'll get 0.4, etc., etc.
Oh, you see, this is what I did. No, I did divide it by 4. And I got,
I lose that.
yeah, but then I just got it to 140. That's it, because I got a 1 here.
Oh, remainder.
Yeah, so that's why.
Remember repeated long addition? Or R1, remainder of 1?
Yeah.
Remainder of 1 out of 4 is 0.25.
Hold it.
But this,
The remainder
no,
is
I got it now. I got what I
The
did.
remainder is 1, and the divisor is 4. 1 over 4 is 0.25.
Yeah, that's what I done here.
But I was saying it's great. My paper is so good.
You got 31, you get 0.2 there, right? And the next one will be 5. So you show the 5.
I mean, you got it right. So help me.
Okay.
Yeah, I could use me helping me.
But all you gotta remember is this, notice. This is like 0 o'clock. This is a quarter of the term. Half a term, 3/4 of a term. Quarter of a term, half a term, 3/4 of a term, a full term.
So with the answer, it would be the equal.
Whatever's on the very end, that's the answer.
You gotta put some points.
You did that, late. I got
I was thinking about the one we just did.
I'm talking to all of you. I would never say A to you. I would never. Remember Victoria? Oh, there's something. Oh, nice box.
My shirt out.
I was like, oh, true idea. Yeah, I love cookies. And I have juice.
Oh,
Oh.
All right, let's do two more things. First, here's what we're going to do. Listen up carefully, guys. Instead of doing concept 9 today, what we'll do is we'll do concept 9 tomorrow, which means that your review will then be on Monday and your test will be on Tuesday. Now, what I'm going to do right now is one more problem with the decimal. I'm going to do it with 7 repeaters. See if we can get that. Then I'll show you the proof for 0.99021, and then we'll call it. So this is only the second half of concept 8. I'll put this video online again tonight, but it's not going to be concept 9. So we've only gone through concept 8 in these last 2 days. Tomorrow's concept is a lot easier than this.
Yeah.
But you need to know this in order to do tomorrow's. So let's do another example with a repeater. Okay, please try this one. I'll go through it up here. If you think you can do it on your own, write it down and just don't look back up. I'll go through the steps for those that have trouble. I'll give you like a minute or two to try it if you think you can do it on your own right now. And many of you have already done this. If you're having trouble, give me a sec and we'll go through it. But write it down at least.
Oh, you put the 7 digits right there.
There are 7 of them, which makes the decimals a little bit.
7 digits. Okay.
I want to use numbers. I want to use this. I mean, I got this.
It's 5.
It's fine.
I don't know how to exactly read it. Let's see. Hey, this is the number. I can't tell you how I got it.
Why not? Corresponds to response is you find the decimal for only spots. Ebony, can you give me the decimal spots, please? Give me the first 3 decimal spots for each of them. You know, at this point, let's just all do it together. Okay, I gave you guys a little bit of time. Those that are still got it, continue working. That's fine. If you don't need the decimals, you can do it with the remainder. That's what you're using also. You can use the remainder as well. Now, let's take a look at this problem here. We have how many spots repeating?
7.
7 spots. So automatically, I know my denominator will be a 7 every time. I then know this is the first spot, second spot, third spot, fourth spot, fifth spot, sixth spot, seventh spot. If I can find all these decimals, Bridget, If I can find all these decimals, I can then say, okay, what is 293 over 7 going to be? I'll take that decimal and see which one matches up. So, you need to do each one of them. If you can find a shortcut, that's fine. There are shortcuts to do. But I'll let you determine them on your own if you want to.
So how do you find the decimal?
In your calculator, do 1 divided by 7.
But what happens if it repeats like?
Give me the first 3 decimals, Enrique.
Is 0.142?
Okay, next one, go.
2 divided by 7 is 0.285.
Next one.
Is 428.
Next one.
Is 571.
Next one.
0.714.
Next one.
857.
And then
It just climbs up.
Okay. Now we've got all our decimals listed here. Let's take our actual number and divide it. What is it? What's 293 over 7?
293 divided by 7 is
Yep.
41.857.
Okay, where's 857 located, people? Here's 857 right here. So the answer to this problem is 9. You get it?
I got stuck.
Oh, I'm just being so
You good? Thank you.
That'd be easier for like that, but like those big.
Sure. So what is your name? 6? 6 spots.
I know, that's what I got.
That's totally fine. Now, you don't want to have to do long divisions.
I get the whole part of it. I get the part of
Oh, you're gonna be a lawyer one day? You know the two schools first. I know you're joking, I'm just telling you. You're a lawyer one day. How many spots are there total? 7. This is the first spot, the second spot, the third spot. Just the number of the spot. Again, if you go back and look back here, I put down the number of the spot over the number repeating. The number of the spot over the number or the amount repeating. Okay? Okay, here's what I want you to do tonight, guys. You have, tomorrow we're going to learn concept 9. So tomorrow you have your second assessment on concept 8. Make sure you go back and look at that homework if you didn't finish it. I only told you to do the first 5 last night. So you have to finish the bottom 5. Make sure you understand the first 5, because tomorrow you're going to have another one. And I'll give you a hint. Tomorrow your assessment will look like number 5 and a difficult one with the I. It will look like number 5 in your homework. You're going to have 3 imaginary things to subtract tomorrow. 3 different brackets. So make sure you understand that part. Go through your I stuff as well. Remind me tomorrow to show 0.99. We're in the middle of that. Okay? I'll show you guys tomorrow.